least theoretically, could lead to the same outcome. I think parents and pupils will be much more willing and open to go down that way. I mean, clearly, P-levels and showing how much you can earn if you don't go through a university track is another way to get people to realise that there's much more to life than just going to university.
Yeah, this is a bit of fun. I mean, I know when I was growing up, going to vocational school was seen as a sign that you just weren't good enough to do better. Yeah, and you see this, I mean, not just in the UK, you see in Italy. It's an enormous problem with parents and the aspirations of the families. One thing I'm often struck by, is to take the advantage of being the moderator, when you deal with people in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Netherlands, and Denmark, which have a roughly equivalent system of training and this very strong vocational training, but of a higher level, is the self-confidence that it imbues in the young people that go through that system. Yeah? It's not just that you're providing good grist for the mill for this industrial machine, yeah? But when you speak to these young people, first they feel educated because the vocational training they get is good. And there's also an element of general education to get with it. It's not just hammering things in or something. Yeah? But when you really see that the self-possession and the confidence that these people have when they go through this system and the belief in their own future, it's a very positive thing to see. It's one that we don't see enough of. So I think that's something that needs to be grasped, yeah, as opposed to convincing people to accept less. Yeah? Seen as a more horizontal sort of thing. Yeah? Sure, there's some questions. You must be. What are you all doing back there? Are we just cold outside? You want to come in, or what?
There are no buts.
Yeah. Okay, there we got a question back there.
You all have jobs, no problem.
I got mine.
Hello everybody, Mathieu Sarret from the Midi-Pyrénées region office in Brussels. You came up with the example of the Austrian system with a connection between universities and the labor markets. But my question is that considering the huge debate that occurred in France 5 years ago for the law for the autonomy of universities, what is the position of universities when they have to ensure a narrow connection with the labor market? Isn't it the self-accomplishment that is the final objective of education? And it can be a real matter to be addressed, actually.
I think the example was more schools and enterprise, right? But okay, we can also include the universities, of course. But this is a different issue, because for organization of the apprenticeship system, because apprenticeships belong to the formal education system, you need, of course, enterprise on board. That's clear. Without it, you can't do it. Universities and enterprise is another issue, because formally spoken, well, not always it's required, it's certainly nothing to do with apprenticeship, as I explained in the beginning. And okay, some curricula require practical experience, which is something else. The advantage of working together of universities and enterprise, you can see them well in the last 50 years, because all universities who have close relationship to enterprise are those universities which are very much sought after. Why? Because if you have graduated from them, they knock already at your door, and not the other way around.
But what about the faculties of sociology and philosophy? If the investment would completely decrease if you just enterprises on the board, because it's.
That's not true, because if I said university, I'm not thinking only of faculties of technology or so. I mean, for sociologists, there is also place. There's also place in the private sector.
I'll just give you an example. The German railways have a system of renting bikes. which was not developed by logistics engineers but by sociologists. So for those who don't have the classical path out into companies, who more were thinking about going into research, being a freelancer or working for the state, especially for those faculties, it's even more important to have a connection with business in the broadest sense, because there's even more important to have a future job perspective. And universities from one side, they see that it's good for them, for their research, because they get support, they get more interaction, they are more up to what's really relevant, they get also financial support, but also their students are asking them, what are you doing for me when they apply? What are my chances when I graduate from this university? So also the students are asking those questions, but we have a number of universities that have introduced entrepreneurship courses, not only for people who study business or economics, but for especially those who do not study those subjects, but any other subject. They want to give this basic know-how also to the students. And when you have entrepreneurship courses for somebody who's not in business or economics, the first question is exactly, how would you imagine using the skills you are learning here, no matter what you learn, in your own enterprise? It can be a one-person enterprise, it can be a 10-person enterprise, it can be a 110-person enterprise, but it is a trend which is growing more and more, because students are as much worried about their job perspectives as anybody else. So universities are bringing this in because they see there is a demand for it. And on the other hand, those who just give you the, let's say, standard classical self-accomplishment, it's good, it's nice, it's interesting, but it's not enough. Because those people, unfortunately, then have a problem on the job market.
I mean, it's obviously a potentially delicate issue if industries seem to be interfering in curricula, but that's not really what is being suggested. It's just to increase links between the worlds of business and universities. There would be more natural links between the bits of the universities which engineering or science or innovation and business. I mean, all those universities who do research in those areas are in relatively close touch with business in any case. And local authorities can do quite a lot to encourage that, not only to help the university graduates or postgraduates get jobs, not only to help businesses get needed labour, but really to give incentives to clusters of innovation, to really grow the area. I mean, many areas do this, and this is a reason to get young people into work. But more generally, universities in close touch with the world of business can give much better careers advice, even for people studying philosophy.
Yeah, if I can add something, indeed, this is I personally totally agree on this, but the point maybe will be also to reflect on how to turn business also into more, also into social business and to include elements of ethics in business. So in this way we would match, of course, both, I think, both views that are appearing here. The fact that we too much at this moment we link the idea of business with the idea of private profit or profit of few. So in this sense, I think this is a challenge of our future society also to expand to these different areas of business.
Okay, so managing those, increasing the relationship and managing them, so he's not getting the keys on them. Unless there are any questions,
Oh, let's go.
Someone.
So I'm Florent Pierrot from the representation of the Provence-Alpes Côte d'Azur region. My question is mainly for Mr. Guazzubi Marini. I hope I got the pronunciation right. So in the Youth in Action program, I know there is a partnership part which is mainly dedicated for the region. And could you perhaps make some kind of your track of records on this program and perhaps the prospects for the next financial framework, if you know something about it? Thanks.
We would all like to.
Okay, thanks. I'll try to be short in any case. Yes, indeed, you are right. We have a particular, specific call for proposal and action that is devoted to regions to develop partnerships, synergies with regions inside the program. What is the rationale behind? In the Youth in Action program, we mainly target civil society actors, associations, NGOs, and of course these organizations, some of them might have a big outreach, but in general, in average, they are fragile, let's say, a bit more fragile organizations compared to universities, companies, and so on. So we thought about trying to identify some hubs of partners that in a certain way would share the objectives of the Youth in Action program in terms of promoting activities in the area of non-formal education for young people, promoting international mobility in this area. So we have a dedicated instrument that allows regions to develop, to plan biannual work plans, activity plans, where they can, of course, either themselves or together with the organizations, NGOs in their territory, they can carry out several activities that are the standard activities supported under Youth in Action. So European voluntary service, volunteering abroad, youth exchanges, or training, networking, seminars of those who are operating in the field of youth. So this is a way to, of course, help the regions also to build their capacities in this area, provide some funding, but mainly providing also examples that they can use to be inspired and to multiply opportunities for the people in their region in this area. Yeah, the prospects. At the moment, this action is managed at centralized level. There is an executive agency who selects few pilot projects. In the future, the idea is to decentralize it. This is a technical jargon, but to basically have national agencies, national structures in each program country dealing with these projects, entering into these more, let's say, privileged contractual relations with regions, and multiply, of course, the impact of this action that at the moment is in the testing phase.